In today's Leeds news, Leeds line up Okafor, James Justin, interest, Dominic Calvert-Lewin latest, League Cup draw, and today's rumour mill stories on Fotis Ioannidis. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. Thursday morning, the 14th of August. With your Leeds United news. It's starting to pick up. We've already seen the Dominic Calvert-Lewin information yesterday. As of time of recording, we're still waiting to see that deal actually finalised, but it looks like everything is going according to plan. But there is a lot more stuff starting to pick up after a very busy day yesterday. It's starting to get a bit busy again today, so we'll give you the information. There's some personal stuff been put into this as well, information that has been sent to me. I'll give you the detail on that in a couple of minutes time. But yeah, if you want to like and subscribe to the channel as well, you can help us get towards 70,000 subscribers before the start of the season. That would be greatly appreciated. But let's start off today and let's talk about the Noah Okafor information. And last night some rumblings came out that Leeds may be interested in making a move for AC Milan attacker Noah Okafor. This morning, Baron Cross at The Athletic has confirmed Leeds' interest in the player. However, Baron does say that no official approach to the player has been made at this stage and there has been no club-to-club contact up until this point. But he is a player that Leeds are having a serious look at. However, I did get some information on this yesterday. I'm laughing because I know how it sounds. So take what I'm going to say with a pinch of salt. But I was told by someone close to the Okafor camp that he has held discussions with Leeds and two other Premier League clubs as well as two Saudi Pro League clubs. But as of this point right now, Okafor is said to be considering the Leeds United move. And he did have a conversation after full time with Daniel Farke that was picked up, and his representatives were also seen in the area. At this stage, I'm told that Okafor is considering his options right now, but is very keen on a move away from AC Milan. Okafor can operate anywhere across those front three positions, but his preferred position is on the left-hand side, coming inside an attacking space, which is what he would like to do and something that Leeds United are looking for and could offer him should they get a deal done for him. His wages and his personal terms at this point are not set to be an issue, but Leeds will need to negotiate a transfer fee with AC Milan, and that could be a little bit trickier to do, although he was on loan in Serie A last season, so that could mean a move away from the club is easier for them as well as him. The deal isn't close to being finalised at this point, and there's still plenty of time to run on this one. But it's also worth pointing out that Okafor was very close to joining Leeds United during the season we got relegated. The deal was said to be done and dusted. Terms were all agreed. We're just waiting on Leeds to confirm the Premier League status, which unfortunately they didn't, and the deal fell away. Okafor hasn't enjoyed the best of times in Serie A. It's an incredibly defensive league. We've seen a lot of attackers go there and their goal contribution dip pretty radically. But he is a very exciting player and was very good against Leeds United last weekend and is a serious goal threat. And if you look at his goals per minute, they're pretty high as well. So there's a lot to be excited about with this player. He might not be a £70 million Igor Paixão, but there's very few of them around. But he is looking for a fresh challenge. Leeds are looking for someone in his mould. He's 6'1". He's 25 years of age. He fits an awful lot of what Leeds have looked for this summer. But I can tell you for a fact he's a very exciting player, one that I would be very keen to get in. There's an awful lot of talk at the moment about this £150 million that Leeds could spend, and the fact that Leeds said they would try and get players of in and around 30 million per position. Leeds have managed to get the players in for a lot less than that, Anton Stach specifically. So Leeds don't have to spend that money, and keeping some of that money back would help Leeds over this 3-year PSR period that needs to be considered, and could also mean that Leeds have got a few quid left in their back pocket should they need to spend it come January. So right now, Leeds don't need to spend all the money if they can get the deals done for less than they had planned initially on spending. And they could even get a loan deal for Noah Okafor. That's not off the table either. So we'll keep an eye on this one, and I'll get you some news on this as and when I hear it. But let's move on and talk about another player of interest, and that's James Justin. Leicester City fullback James Justin was mentioned as a possible target for Leeds United a couple of weeks ago. At that time, we were told by some local journalists that there was no truth to that story. The same local journalists that told us that there was no interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin either, or no truth to that story, and he's now on the verge of becoming a Leeds United player. This morning, Leeds' interest in James has been confirmed, as Baron Cross in The Athletic has stated that Leeds are looking at strengthening the fullback position, and James is one of the players of interest. Daniel Farke has also said in recent weeks that he wants more competition in the fullback areas, and it's something that James Justin could absolutely offer Leeds United. Last season, Justin scored 4 goals and added 2 assists in a very poor Premier League campaign for Leicester City as they got relegated with very little fight. But Leeds' Isaac Schmidt loan exit is also on hold until Leeds can get cover for that right back position. There's potentially even a possibility of that move collapsing if Leeds can't get the cover in soon. James Justin offers Leeds far more than cover. He offers real competition in that fullback area. James Justin has got 168 appearances under his belt for Leicester City and was capped by England as well. So at his absolute best, he was considered to be someone that England would want to have around their fold. As it has been said all summer, when you hear about these deals, they're likely further on than we're being told at this point, at least 24 hours out of date. But at this point, it should be said that it is just an interest in the fullback at this stage. Although if you go back a couple of weeks and add all this together, maybe this one's further along than we have been told at this point. But he would be a very decent player to bring in the fullback areas. Let's move on. Let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin latest. And yesterday we got the information that a deal in principle had been agreed between Leeds United and Dominic Calvert-Lewin for the player to join the club on a free transfer. Calvert-Lewin had his medical yesterday, and as has been the case all summer with Leeds United transfers, we are still waiting on the official announcement of him as a Leeds United player, and at the time of recording that hasn't happened. It may have happened by the time you are watching this video, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin signing is seen as a replacement for the likes of Matteo Joseph and Patrick Bamford, and Daniel Farke is looking for more competition and a different profile of striker in the attacking areas. Leeds Live a couple of days ago said that there was no truth to the story in Dominic Calvert-Lewin signing for Leeds, and they have worked back to say that it is now a case that Leeds signed Calvert-Lewin because both player and club now needed each other. However, that information has now been contradicted by several other sources. Calvert-Lewin's sacked his agent a couple of weeks ago in order to get this move done, and his agent has been credited as the person behind the high wage demands that were being touted around over the course of this summer. According to several outlets, Leeds have beaten off competition from several clubs, including Sunderland, who are said to have offered the player a 6-figure salary in order to make him one of their highest earners, a policy that has worked very well for them so far this summer. Burnley, Manchester United, Newcastle, Celtic and Atalanta were all said to have some level of interest in him, with some of them even credited as holding talks with the player and his representatives. Ben Jacobs said that Dominic Calvert-Lewin had rejected a move to Sunderland in order to sign for Leeds United, and the Sunderland Echo has also backed up that statement, with Manchester World stating that Lewin favoured a move to Leeds United before rejecting Sunderland. The issue that is a very valid issue and a very valid point to bring up, not to the level that some are, is the injury history. But if he gets through his medical, then you've got to believe that he's fit and healthy and ready to go, and Leeds' medical team will likely spend an awful lot of time having a look at that hamstring. The hamstring is the only real injury to worry about. Most of his other injuries are bone related, broken noses and stuff like that. There's not an awful lot you can do about that as a player, but the hamstring injury is the one to keep an eye on. But if you want my personal opinions on this deal and the rhetoric that's come out yesterday, I'll give it to you at the back end of the video. Let's move on. Let's talk about the League Cup draw. And Leeds' promotion to the Premier League meant no need to take part in the first round of the League Cup, but they do now know their opposition for round 2. Leeds will have a Yorkshire derby to look forward to and a trip to Hillsborough, as they've been drawn against Sheffield Wednesday, who beat Bolton Wanderers last night. Hillsborough's current attendance is under restrictions, but that won't affect Leeds United too much, and it'll be a very different looking Leeds United side that head to Hillsborough to take on Sheffield Wednesday this season than lined up against them last year. And Leeds will be hoping to progress to the next stage. Round 2 ties will take place the week commencing the 25th of August, so nice to have a local derby to add to the fixture lists this season. Let's move on and talk about today's rumour mill stories. There's only one floating around, and this one comes from BBC. But according to BBC Sport, Leeds are said to be tracking Panathinaikos striker Fotis Ioannidis. Ioannidis has 48 goals in 168 appearances for the Greek side, as well as being capped 17 times by the Greek national side. Ioannidis also has Champions League experience and recently played against Glasgow Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers. Ipswich this time last year were said to have tried to sign the striker at that point, and Sporting Lisbon and Porto are also said to be two clubs interested in bringing in the Greek international at this stage. Ioannidis is 25 years of age, so he ticks that box about coming into his prime years for Leeds, and he's 6'2" in height as well, so again another player that adds that height advantage that Leeds are looking to capitalise on this year, and his current deal runs until June 2028. And at this point I will say this, it is BBC Sport, but I would take this very much with a very healthy chunk of salt at this point. It's very much a rumour, but he does tick a lot of boxes for Leeds. We'll have to see if anything comes out of that. Personal opinions now just on the transfers that have gone through or going through in the next couple of hours, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's the one to talk about. It should be pointed out that over the last 3 seasons, he is getting a lot of stick online, but it should be pointed out that over the last 3 seasons, Everton have been the lowest scoring, or one of the lowest scoring teams in the Premier League, and it wasn't just him that has struggled to score goals. The comparisons that have been thrown out over the last couple of days with Patrick Bamford are just, personal opinion, are a little bit lazy. The only comparison between the two of them is the injury history. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is 28 years of age. Patrick Bamford is 31 years of age. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has 11 caps for England. Patrick Bamford has 1. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has 4 goals for England. Patrick Bamford has none. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played the bulk of his football in the Premier League. Patrick Bamford hasn't. So outside of all of that, the only one that lines up as a comparison is the injury record. And again, we've covered that in a little bit of detail. Everton under Sean Dyche were not seen as a very attack-minded side, and a lot of what he had to do was hold up play and head the ball down to other players. When he played for an attacking side under Carlo Ancelotti, he scored double figures and looked incredibly busy and dangerous during that period of time. So bearing in mind what Leeds are trying to do this season, you can see an awful lot more attacking balls going into the box, and he could offer Leeds a huge amount in the penalty area this season. The big question mark, and again I say it again, is a valid one, is the injury history. But as I say, assuming he gets through his medical and Leeds have a very strong look at that hamstring, you have to assume he's ready to go and should be good to go. On the Noah Okafor one, personal opinion is this is a very good signing if Leeds can get it done. He's a very exciting player. He will get you off your seats. He's a very direct attacking player and does carry a really strong goal scorer. He's not bad in the air either, 6'1" as well. So again, it just increases the physicality of Leeds, but he's a tidy player. Go have a good look at what he's done in front of goal. He can finish from pretty much anywhere, and a very tidy player. I would be one player that I would be very excited to see Leeds United bring in. There's no other Igor Paixãos out there, so it's, who else can you get? You're not going to get anyone of that level for the price that he was going at the time. So, no, Okafor is the interesting one to keep an eye on there. But folks, that'll be it for me today. Massive thanks as always. We have got the match preview tonight at 7:30, and I will have an Everton fan on before the weekend to give his opinion on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as well as looking ahead to the Everton game on Monday night. You can check that one out coming into the weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.